So it looks like we're ready to go. So I will bring this meeting to order. I'm Councillor Catherine Pope, acting mayor for Mayor Little tonight. Thank you for coming. We are holding a public meeting to receive input from the community with respect to the issuance of a proposed childcare facility. And before we get into the meeting, I would like to start it in a good way with an Indigenous acknowledgement. Councillor Back.
Thank you. We respectfully acknowledge the original peoples of these lands and waters, specifically the Tsleil-Waututh, the Squamish, and the Musqueam, on whose unceded ancestral lands the District of North Vancouver is located. We value the opportunity to learn, share, and serve our community on these unceded lands.
Thank you very much. I have a bit of a script I have to follow before we launch into the rest of the meeting and the presentations and the speakers list. This public meeting is being convened pursuant to Section 59 of the Community Charter, and it's being held in hybrid meeting format, meaning there is a combination of in-person and electronic participation by some or all members of council or by staff and the public. And I note that Councillor Betty Forbes is joining us virtually tonight. The meeting is being streamed live over the internet and recorded in accordance with the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. Public participation in this meeting is being accommodated by speakers having signed up in advance, as stated in the notice of meeting, as well as observers being provided the Zoom meeting information on the DNV website and in the notice of meeting. Written submissions will be received by the corporate officer on behalf of and shared with council at any time up to the time the meeting is closed. These may be submitted to input@dnv.org. Therefore, in this manner, all persons will be afforded a reasonable opportunity to be heard and to present written submissions. The chair has established the following rules for the meeting. Following the staff and applicant presentations, we will go through the established speakers list. At the end of the speakers list, the chair may call for any other speakers not on the speakers list. Number two, speakers will have 5 minutes to address council for a first time and are asked to begin their remarks to council by stating their name and spelling it and approximate address. Number three, after everyone who wishes to speak has spoken once, speakers will then be allowed one additional 5-minute opportunity. Any additional presentations will only be allowed at the discretion of the chair. Speakers are reminded to not repeat information from their previous presentations and to ensure all comments remain focused on the application under consideration this evening. If a written submission has been provided, there is no need to read it as it will have already been seen by council. Speakers may summarize or briefly reiterate the highlights of the submission. All members of the audience are asked to be respectful of one another as diverse opinions are expressed. Council wishes to hear everyone's views in an open and impartial forum. And a few more important notes about public meetings. Council is here to listen to the public, not to debate the merits of the application. Council may ask clarifying questions. The corporate officer has a binder containing documents and submissions related to the application which council has received and which you are welcome to review. This is available to view in hard copy on the table next to the door and online at dnv.org/agenda. Everyone at the meeting will be provided an opportunity to speak. If necessary, we will continue for a second night. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the first presentation by staff and Erica Branston, Community Planner. Can I do it?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so good evening, Acting Mayor and Council. My name is Erica Branson and I work with the Community Planning Department here at the District of North Vancouver. This evening, we will be presenting a business license application for Wise Beans Childcare Center proposed at 2439 Burton Place in the Seymour Heights neighborhood. I have a 10-slide presentation that will cover the key details, including the site location, licensing details, and alignment with the district's childcare planning objectives. So this public meeting provides an opportunity for residents to share feedback on the application, which proposes increasing the capacity of this existing childcare facility. Under the district's childcare facilities business regulation bylaw, applications proposing care for 11 to 20 children in a residential building must be presented at a public meeting and subsequently considered by council at a regular council meeting. In accordance with the bylaw requirements, notification of this meeting was mailed to all properties within a 50-meter radius of the childcare center at least 10 days in advance. In terms of an overview, the applicant has operated Wise Beans Childcare Center from their home since the fall of 2023 and is currently licensed to provide group childcare for up to 8 children under 36 months. Due to the community demand, including a growing wait list and frequent inquiries, including some of the toddlers that are currently enrolled who could transition into those older age group spaces if approved by council, the applicant is seeking to increase capacity to 20 children. The proposed expansion includes 20 spaces for group childcare under 36 months and 8 spaces for group childcare for 30 months to school-age children. The district's planning guidelines for group childcare in residential zones was last updated by council in 2014. These guidelines help staff to evaluate childcare proposals that are seeking to accommodate more than 8 children in a residential setting. They outline a range of considerations, which are shown on the slide that's currently displayed right now, and I will walk through each of these considerations in relation to Wise Beans childcare application over the next few slides. The proposed childcare facility is located in the Seymour Heights neighborhood on a cul-de-sac close to Berkeley Road via Bendel Road. Berkeley Road provides convenient access to Mount Seymour Parkway, and the location is well served by community amenities, including parks and trails, and it's very close to Seymour Heights Elementary School. There are 10 other licensed childcare facilities in this neighborhood that offer a total of 131 spaces for childcare. With respect to transportation and parking, the planning guidelines recommend that 4 parking spaces for a childcare facility that serves 20 children. 2 spaces are required under the district's zoning bylaw. This application meets the higher guideline standard by providing 2 garage spaces and 2 spaces available on the driveway. In addition, there's on-street parking available along Berkeley Road where families could conduct the drop-off and the pickup. The photo on this slide shows a northbound view of Berkeley Road and one of the entrances to the childcare facility accessed via the pedestrian pathway. The applicant has advised that there will be a maximum of 4 staff on site at any given time, including herself. District staff are confident that parking at the site is sufficient based on the following factors. The applicant meets the zoning bylaw requirements. Street parking is available nearby on Berkeley Road. Bus stops are located within walking distance for staff and families that are using public transportation. There are no known conflicts with nearby community amenities during the pickup and drop-off times, and staggered pickup and drop-off times will also help to minimize traffic congestion. This slide shows a view of the home from Burton Place, located at the end of the cul-de-sac. The site has one adjacent neighbor to the north and a pedestrian pathway on the opposite side. The home and the yard are consistent with the surrounding neighborhood, which is made up of single-family dwellings, and the property is well screened with a 6-foot fence and perimeter shrubbery. There is also a lot of mature trees and existing landscaping that provide natural buffering and help to reduce noise and enhance privacy for neighbors. In terms of facility design, the childcare program operates on the ground floor of this two-story home. The applicant proposes to add 8 spaces to children aged 30 months to school age and to increase the infant toddler capacity to 12 spaces. Renovations are planned for the summer, subject to council approval, to create the separate areas for each of these age groups. The indoor space includes large windows that provide natural light and ventilation, and the property will feature 2 outdoor play areas. This image on the slide here shows the space that will be intended for the preschoolers. The outdoor area is enclosed with this retaining wall. It's got a landscape garden and also a 6-foot perimeter fence. The outdoor space meets the requirements of the proposed number of children. In terms of the neighborhood consultation, letters were sent to all properties within 50 meters of the site, inviting residents to the open house that was held on June 25th, 2024, and attended by district staff. 9 neighbors participated in the open house, and some were from the same household. Some of the key concerns that were raised include traffic and safety, parking and pickup and drop-off logistics, and then the neighborhood character and noise. The applicant has expressed a commitment to ongoing communication with neighbors and to addressing any future concerns. And to help minimize the impact on Burton Place, families will be encouraged to use Berkeley Road and the adjacent pedestrian pathway to access the site. On-site driveway parking will still be available for those accessing from Burton Place, and staggered drop-off and pickup times will be promoted to reduce traffic congestion. The final slide highlights that childcare is a vital component of a strong, resilient, and livable community. The district is committed to expanding access to high-quality childcare. In 2020, Council endorsed the Childcare Action Plan, which identified a need for 2,055 additional spaces by 2030. The Seymour Heights neighborhood and the broader Seymour area are specifically identified as needing more care across all age groups. Since the plan's adoption, 1,376 new spaces have been created, many of those in the Seymour area. The proposed Wise Beans Child Care Center would contribute 12 new spaces, helping to meet the identified demand in this neighborhood. This proposal aligns with Council's broader objectives and supports the district's continued efforts to address childcare needs. This concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions that Mayor and Council may have.
Thank you very much, Ms. Branson. I think we're going to be doing questions online in the chat, and we will pick up on those later. Next speaker I have is the, oh, I'm sorry.
Excuse me. Ed Bailey, Vancouver 2449 Burton Place. Are we going to be able to question some of the information that she provided in her presentation?
Yeah, you'll have your time to speak along with everyone else.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I missed something. Okay. So council, please use the meeting chat for any questions you have, and we will provide an opportunity for staff and the applicant to provide answers after we have heard from first-time speakers. Okay, thank you. I don't do this very often, so bear with me. So now we would like to get to the presentation by the applicant, Mr. Ramon Gonzalez, on behalf of the owners of Wise Beans Childcare.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, good evening. Thank you, Mayor, council members and staff members. My name is Ramon Gonzalez. I'm here to speak on behalf of the operators of Wise Bean Daycare. So Wise Bean Daycare is a licensed group care center dedicated to nourishing children from infancy till school age. Founded on a holistic play-based approach, Wise Bean promotes curiosity, independence, and growth in all areas of development. The center offers a safe, inclusive, and engaging environment tailored to each child's need. Wise Bean was first licensed in July 18, 23 to care for 8 children under 36 months in a group setting designed for infants and toddlers. A little bit about the operator. Nazreen Shams, founder and director of Wise Bean Daycare, is a dedicated early childhood educator with over 35 years of experience. She holds a bachelor's degree in educational science, specializing in childhood development. Nazreen began her career in Iran, where she founded and operated a childcare center serving over 230 children for 25 years. After moving to Canada, she earned her ECE and infant toddler certificate with honors, along with certifications in first aid, CPR, and safe food handling. With over 11 years of experience in Canadian childcare, Nazreen has held leadership roles such as program manager, supervisor, earning recognition for her experience in program development and commitment to quality care. Wise Bean Childcare offers a play-based, child-centered curriculum that draws inspiration from 3 different educational philosophies. One of them is Waldorf, which encourages natural, sensory-rich environments and holistic learning. And then the other one's Reggio Emilia, which emphasizes on child-led exploration, curiosity, and autonomy. And then the other one is Montessori, which focuses on hands-on learning, structured routines, and purposeful play. Children at Wise. Okay, so we have children at Wise Bean are provided with an age-appropriate opportunity to explore, discover, and grow through daily activities that support physical, emotional, social, and language and cognitive development. Hours of operation is Monday to Friday from 7:30 to 5:30 p.m. Closed on weekends and statutory holidays. Pickup and drop-offs are on a staggered basis and only accessible through Berkeley Road unless they are walking to the school through pickups and drop-offs. There are 2 designated outdoor play areas, both of which that can handle 12 children each. And there are parks in the area that's also used for their outdoor activities, Canyon Creek Park and Hogan Pools Park. The infant toddler program, which runs from 0 to 36 months, has a staff of 1 to 4. It emphasizes on biological rhythms, feeding, napping, diapering, on demand, that type of thing. And also infant care programs, enriched infant care programs, which is sensory play, story time, music, outdoor walks, and dedicated rest times with individual cribs, mats for each infant. For the toddler program, it's a little bit more flexible. It's a flexible play-based routine with free play, circle time, music, and movement. There is also outdoor exploration and art and sensory time. Early development in preparation for kindergarten would include social emotional skill building and group meals, structured rest times, and daily reflection. A sample daily schedule for these kids. As kids arrive, they start out with a free play, and they settle down. And then as they settle down, they move on to art, sensory play, and other activities. After which they take a break for a snack and do some circle time. And then at that time, gives them an opportunity to change diapers if need be. And then they move on to outdoor play, which is held between 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then they move on to lunch, after which they have their lunch, then story time, and then they have their afternoon nap. And then after their nap, they'll have another change of diapers if need be, and then again outdoor playtime from 3:30 to 4:30. And then after that, they come back in to prepare for pickup. So they have circle time and whatever free play time they have for pickup. The new the new the new preschool program is going to be for ages 3 to 5. So Wisebean Childcare is expanding with a new play school program for children ages 3 to 5, maintaining a 1:8 staff to child ratio. The program builds on Wisebean's nature-inspired play-based approach while introducing early literacy. The curriculum remains grounded on social emotional development, fostering creative and nurturing independent problem-solving skills as essential pillars for early learning. Key features for this would be to prepare children for kindergarten through exploration and guided learning and play, support social skills and self-regulation through team and teamwork. And a lot of this is done through outdoor play, storytelling time, music, and hands-on learning. And then they also continue on a flexible scheduling based on child's interests and stuff like that, right? This newly introduced program is thoughtfully designed to offer a seamless and continuous early learning experience, eliminating the need for families to seek out a separate program before kindergarten. Children can grow, learn, and prepare for school within one consistent and nurturing environment, while families benefit from the convenience and peace of mind that comes with having siblings attend the same school, building a stronger sense of community and continuity in their school program. It is important to note that according to the information published on the city website, Seymour Region is identified as underserviced, as an underserviced area in the current childcare plan. In addition, Wisebean Childcare also has quite a bit of a wait list, a couple of which are within the Burton Place neighborhood itself, right? Open house community feedback. There were 11 attendees that participated. 3 had some concerns. Key concerns were on traffic and parking impacts on the cul-de-sac, safety consideration on Berkeley Road and Burton Place, potential increase in noise, complaint and resolution procedures. So regarding the traffic and safety concerns, to mitigate this issue, parents will be advised to take that all vehicle drop-offs and pickups will be directed at Berkeley Road only. Access to the daycare will be through the alleyway, ensuring that there are no cars or parents waiting in the cul-de-sac. To ensure that there are no disruptions in the cul-de-sac, no drop-offs will occur on Burton Place. All drop-offs will occur on Berkeley Road, and access to the daycare will be via the alleyway. So again, no drop-offs will be done through the cul-de-sacs, ensuring minimal disruptions in that area. Staggered pickup and drop-off times is also encouraged. Any children walking to school through Burton Place will be accompanied by a legal guardian, and any children walking on Burton place as part of the school scheduled activity will be supervised by appropriate number of teachers, assistants in compliance with the Vancouver Coastal Health regulations. Noise concerns and complaint procedures. In regard to the noise concerns, some mitigating factors is that there is a 6-foot fence surrounding the property with a 6'6" hedge around the entire play area. Outdoor play time is limited to 11 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Drop-offs are on a staggered basis. Drop-offs and pickups are on a staggered basis, and all vehicle access is through Berkeley Road only. In regards to the complaint procedures, we encourage that for complainants to have an open communication with Wise Bean Daycare. If a formal complaint is needed to be done, they can write Wise Bean Daycare with a time, date, location, description, and impact of the disturbance or the occurrence of whatever it is that they're complaining about. For unresolved and serious concerns, this can be handled through contacting the district through report a problem. This concludes our presentation, and again, thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gonzalez. We'll now go to the list of those who have signed up in advance to speak. And just a reminder, speakers will have 5 minutes to address the council for the first time and are asked to begin their remarks to council by stating their name and approximate address. So the first person I have on my list is Sahar Kiddo. Hi, come on up. Hi, thanks for coming. You have 5
Thank you.
minutes to speak once you get
Thank you for having
settled.
me back. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for having me back again tonight. It's been a fascinating experience, and you'll probably see me again, but more of a fly in the wall. The first thing I want to present to everybody is what you've already seen online, which is 25 written household
Sorry,
submissions.
Miss Kiddo, do you
Yeah.
mind just spelling your name and
Oh
giving
yeah,
your
it's
address,
Sahar,
please, for the record?
Sahar, last name Kitto.
Thank you.
My address is 2451 Burton Place, North Van.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have 25 written submissions, each from individual households, listing the exact issues that we feel need to be addressed before any kind of capacity increase moves forward. I'll leave this here. I think probably most of you have seen it or will have a chance to see it. I don't think it's worth me reading out loud. I want to talk about a few things that were just said now that are quite concerning. Number one thing that's come to my attention, there's been a lot of talk on Burton Place about why some of us know about this meeting and some of us don't. The 50-meter rule in this case may encompass 3 or 4 houses. There are people sitting here in this audience that have a direct view of Wise Beans Daycare who are not in this 50 meters. They may fall 5 meters short. If you personally visit this cul-de-sac, you will see that excluding them from this 50 meters is wrong. I'm not sure what the terminology is. If I had looked it up earlier, I would have come in here and said it. They must be included. Their address is Burton Place on a dead-end street. There's about, a very limited number of houses. So they need to know. So that's my first thing. That's why there were only 9 neighbors there at the initial meeting, which is why I repeatedly saying we need to have the community meeting again. The community meeting is not accurate. It omits really key points. First of all, at the meeting, the providers said that they would look into making Berkeley Road a loading zone. There is significant downplay on community opposition. In addition to that, there's no mention of misuse of the cul-de-sac, which the owners said themselves at this meeting, though I'll just leave that there. In addition to the fact that there's community concern about facility design, we do think that there's more in the pipeline that isn't going to match with the community. And that is in the district's community report. Wise Beans Daycare might have a wait list and there might be people on it from Burton Place, but if this was indeed something real to consider, I would have liked to have seen some support rather than indifference and a lack of showing up. And I want to just talk personally about childcare wait lists. Parents place their children on 10 different wait lists if they have to. And so they have the luxury of choosing the one they want. Wait lists are not reflective of what can or will happen in the future. There's an urgent need in this scenario to have a traffic case study. We don't have parking. This is another thing that was omitted in the community report. There is no parking on our street. Today, when I received a call from Ms. Atba from the Community Development Plan, she read a map out to me. She said to me that cars can access this location going up Emerson, making a left through a full school zone, and then another left down Berkeley, which is already a heavily burdened street, in order to get to this daycare. This directly affects pick up and drop off at the local elementary school. Her other suggestion was to enter up Berkeley, make a right on Belloc Street that houses the second entrance to Seymour Elementary School, which is also a 30 zone as well and extremely congested. This tells me that the community planners don't understand the community of Blue Ridge. It's shocking that we have to sit here and discuss where the school zone is, that I have to get confirmation from community planners if they know that Windsor Secondary is on our direct pedestrian footpath.
Your 5 minutes is up, and thank you very much. You will have a second opportunity if you need it.
Where should I put these?
Oh, you can leave it in the little file
Can I
tray.
just make one comment?
If it's quick.
Okay. Our entire community supports Nasreen June. There is not one person sitting here who doesn't support Wise Beans Daycare. We want this to work. We care about children. We all have children. But it needs to be safe. It just needs to be safe.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Next up on the list, I have Francine Johnson.
My name is
And there she is. Hello, Francine.
Hi.
Can you hear us clearly? We can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Did you want to give us a test, please, with your name and spelling and approximate address?
Yes, so Fran, Francine. Approximate
Sorry, can you repeat your last name and your approximate address?
Johnson, JNSON. East Van.
All right, you have 5 minutes. Please go ahead.
Thank you. So I just want to say that I am one of the parents that have our child attending Wise Beans daycare since the start of Wise Beans daycare. Our child has flourished at 15, as an essential.
Francine, we're having a little bit of trouble hearing you. It seems a little distorted, the audio. Have you got a fan running in there or
Just me.
no? Can you move a little closer to your mic or just try some minor adjustments? And there's a lot of extraneous sound as well, like maybe paper shuffling or something, I'm not sure.
No, there's nothing else. I could switch it to my cell phone. That works easier.
It seems fine right now, so whatever you're doing at this moment,
Thank you
try that. Yeah.
very much. So as I was saying, child attends Wise Beans daycare. Our child is flourishing under natural care. He has been there since the start of this daycare, and we see nothing but nurturing, loving support, kindness from the families, from her team. Nothing more that, you know, when someone says that we have a luxury to apply for many daycares, there is no luxury. We have applied, we have contacted, we have called numerous times, we have followed up over the years. The list is long. And if there's a child already in care and they have a sibling, guess what? Our child gets off that list because there's sibling priority. And that is unfair to us who have already been applying for years. Our child has been on daycare lists since 2022, since the day he was born. And yet still, like I said, I'm from East Van. I am trekking to Nazarene every day back and forth for our child to attend daycare because there is such a demand for 0 to 36 months and 36 to 5. No parents are doing that. This is a struggle. So that is not a luxury. To call it a luxury is almost an insult. And I do not appreciate that. We don't appreciate it. That is not okay. We need to focus on how we can support the community. We say we want to help the community. Let's support the community. Let's support, you know, provide support. We've seen what COVID has happened in the past when supports are removed, when resources are taken away from the community. We have seen the result of this. We do not need to continue having supports or lack of support from families. There are young families. There's many condos and apartment buildings being built on Mount Seymour Highway where there's going to be an influx. We do not have the support space. This is a solution to so many problems. And to have people trying to change their career, many of you know that we already have a nurse to begin with. As a nurse working for the health authority, now have to find enough daycare if we do not have this plan in place, because again, our child is teaching out. So then what will be the next plan? I do not have that luxury of continuing to find care after care. We need this plan in action now. This is what we need. We're telling you what we need. We are young families. Yes, I understand the problems that there are concerns that they have. How our child, we have a concern. We have no placement. We are leaving our home and to this multiple times to receive the supports that we already have a shortage for. And so I'm asking people to take this into consideration, that by approving this plan, helping young families, helping the families trying to be moving into these newly built condos and how near future that are being built in the Mount Seymour area. A lot of them are having to trek from Vancouver, which is unreasonable. We're constantly taking the child care resource every week, and it doesn't get enough. There's not enough reliable daycares that subsidy or take child care subsidy if the person qualifies. And regarding the noise bylaw, you know, if there was construction down the road or someone was designing a brand new house and jackhammering and everything from 7 p.m. till 8 o'clock at night, they would have no choice but to endure this noise until that construction is built. And this is about children from 10 a.m. to 11, from 3:30 to 4:30, 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day versus 8 hours, 12 hours listening to construction day in and day out. I hope that council would take this message and approve this plan for Nancy and her daycare. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Johnson. If you have anything in script form, please feel free to submit it to us by email before the end of this meeting, as we may not have heard all of your words, but I think we understand the content of what you were saying. Thank you very much. Next, I would like to move on to Maddie Francis. Maddie Francis, are you here or are you online?
Hello, I'm virtual. Can you hear me?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Thank
Apologies.
you for joining us tonight.
I was not prepared to be on camera. My name is Madeline Francis, Madeline. Last name Francis, Francis. I live in Blue Ridge, 2857 Violet Street. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. I just wanted to talk a little bit about Nancy. She's been an excellent proprietor. Finley was 8 months old when he went there when they first opened, and we've had nothing but an excellent experience from her. I more wanted to focus on the kind of supply and demand issues that have been talked about a little bit in regards. It's challenging with a dollar, I'll tell you that. Trying to get the banana in him here. In regards to the supply issues, there's another daycare on Violet Street that has been operating in the community for 30 years, multi-age, and it's shutting on Friday because she is retiring. So the supply is already going down in the neighborhood, and I think that the demand is going to be continuing to increase. There's the development across from Ron Andrews, which is going to have over 300 units of people moving in from 2026. That will definitely put more pressure on this direct community. And then I just wanted to speak about the wait lists. We all know that there's a lot of challenges there. It's very difficult to get on a wait list. And I would just like to update the panel that recently, I've spoken with 3 other daycares who offer 3 to 5 age group, and I was on their wait list last year in preparation for when Finley ages out of this program, and they informed me that they are no longer even operating wait lists because the demand is so high. They essentially just pick up the phone for whoever happens to call at the right time, and they get offered a spot. This means that parents like the previous speaker and myself, thank you, then need to plan to do outreach to tens and tens and tens of daycares for months on end, just to be able to secure a spot so that we can continue to go to work and things like that. With the last 2 minutes, I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the concerns around noise and parking. I'm one of the few parents that walk or bike to pick up my child. We've always done so via Berkeley and then via the walking path. Have never once been in the cul-de-sac. Nancy's made it clear that that's not where she wants us to be spending time. And when myself or my husband do drive, there's ample parking on Berkeley. I often go via Carnation Street where the elementary school is around 3:30. There's not that much traffic. There's traffic lights and parking attendants. So I've never experienced any challenges there. And I think what you don't see in the application is that the yard for their house faces onto Berkeley. And so when I say face, I mean there's like the fence and then the bush and then there's Berkeley Road. So the yard where the children are is onto the road, not into the side of the cul-de-sac necessarily, or anything like that. Yes, and last but not least, just on the supply side, I have lots of friends in the neighborhood who are in similar positions trying to find childcare for that 3+ age group. There's another daycare 2 blocks up that's also only 0 to 36 months. And that proprietor has been looking to extend their license. But, you know, to be able to extend your license, you probably have to have more space or build another bathroom. That requires capital that not a lot of people are willing to do or to invest in. So I think that if we have a proprietor who's willing to invest the capital to make a place that is safe and accessible and enjoyable for more children, that is definitely something that that we should be championing and supporting. So those are my points. I spoke very fast, but I hope you really do consider supporting this because the need is only growing in this community. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you very much, Maddie Francis, and thank you to Finley for putting in a little guest appearance. We'll move now to Brett Terrelon, who is also virtual.
Yes.
Mr. Toleron, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Great.
There you are. Hello.
Hi.
You have 5 minutes to speak. Please start by your name and spelling and approximate address.
Yeah, Brett Terrelon, B-R-E-T-T, T-E-R-R-I-L-L-O-N, and I live at 4001 Mount Seymour Parkway. So yeah, I am also one of the parents of one of the current children that attend Wise Being Childcare, and I think I won't, you know, I don't think I'll reiterate a bunch of the comments said before. I think Nazrin is obviously a fantastic proprietor. All of our kids love it there. I think what I will maybe just spend a minute or so, and maybe not all the time needed. Just saying that I did grow up in the area. So I grew up on Hardy. You know, I went to Seymour Heights. I live down the Parkway now. And I think I would just say that I don't want to downplay concerns that have been raised, but I think that maybe they're not necessarily fair. I don't think that, you know, coming down Carnation and coming to Berkeley and getting out of our cars is really that big of a concern. I haven't, again, when we're doing drop-off, there are staggered drop-offs, staggered pickups. There's one car there at a time. It's always on Berkeley. It's not in the cul-de-sac. You know, school zone being 30 is for a reason. I don't know if 8 extra cars coming through the area, if that's what's going to be the case, is really going to make that significant amount of impact on the community, to downplay the community benefit that's being provided for childcare. Like, you know, I think when I grew up in Blue Ridge and Seymour Heights, there were a lot of young families. You know, as I got older and a lot of us moved out of the community, I think that was lost in that neighborhood quite a bit. You know, I think it's coming back, but these types of facilities are definitely needed to attract young families with young kids, which is needed for a vibrant community. And I think it would be a shame to not take advantage of someone that is trying to provide that to people, that especially when it's so badly needed. And I think that's I'll leave it there.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Telleron, sorry, seemed to get that wrong. Next speaker on the list is Christelle Dubras, and she's here in chambers with us. Welcome.
Okay, it's not intimidating at all. So yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Christelle Dubrule, CHRISTELLE DUBRULLE, and I live on Gallant Avenue in Deep Cove. So I'm here today as a parent to support Nasrin and the amazing daycare that she runs, the place where my daughter Niali has been growing, learning, and thriving for almost 2 years. So as Francine Johnson, my kid was among the first ones. From the beginning, Nasrin and her team have felt like family. The love, care, and trust we have in them are something we don't take for granted. As every parent knows, leaving your child in someone else's care is a huge leap of faith, and Nasrin has earned that trust fully. She's created a safe, nurturing environment where children are not just looked after, they are truly cared for. Now, unfortunately, Yadi is turning 3 in 2 weeks. So I've been searching for new daycare for the past year, and saying that we have a lot of wait lists and the luxury of choosing, this is so wrong. Or like, because yes, of course, there's some daycare, but who can do a drop off at 9 and a pickup at 3? No, I have like a full day of working and I can't afford a lot of the daycare that are in the neighborhood. So finding a new childcare has been incredibly difficult. We're competing for limited spots. We're facing long wait lists, and not all the daycare are the same. Because my daughter is growing up too fast for the council, we had to put our daughter in a daycare that I don't trust, to be honest, but I don't have the choice. And as a mom, you have that gut feeling where something is not good, but I have still every morning I will have to put my kid there because it's the only place available and I have to go to work. So it's just, yeah. There's also the thought of transitioning Yali to a new group, new people, new routine at an age that is really sensitive and that is also deeply stressful for her, but also for us. Extending the age limit to 5 will allow children like Niali to stay in a trusted, consistent environment during a critical stage in their development. It will ease the burden on family, help fill the real need for children's space in the neighborhood, and let Nasrin continue doing the excellent work that she's already does. Just a little longer with some children, she's already supporting so well. For the parking concern, I can confirm that parents bike, take the bus, or park in Berkeley. We never go on the cul-de-sac and we never stay more than 10 minutes. It's even rare that I see other parents at drop-off or pickup because we just take our kids and go. And if we need to cross, we use the crossing pass on top of the road. On another note, we are currently expecting our second child, and there is no doubt in my mind that I want this baby to go to Nasrin daycare when the time comes. This is how much I trust her. As they say, it takes a village to raise kids, and with my family far away, she's part of my village. Thank you for considering this request. It means a lot to many families like mine and our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christelle Dubrow. My next speaker on the list is Cindy Liu. And she's virtual.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Hello, Cindy Liu.
Hello, my name's Cindy Liu, CINDYLIEU. I live on 743 Roslyn Boulevard. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I am a community health nurse and a parent of a 2.5-year-old daughter who attends Wise Beans Childcare currently. I'm here to voice my full support for the expansion of this childcare facility. Olivia is my second child, and over the years, I've had experience with a number of different daycares. And I have to say that Wise Bean feels really different to me. It's a family-run daycare that I feel they really treat the children as their own. They see the children's family as part of the extended families. Every day that I go there, I feel the love, the fun, the joy that the children have, and I feel very included and very safe. And it gives me peace to know that my daughter is in very, very capable hands that I trust 100%. Nazrin, as it's been mentioned, that she's managed daycares for over 30 years, and her experience and her wisdom shows in everything that she does. She and the other teacher that are there treat every child as their own, and they see us, the parents, as part of the extended family. And we really do appreciate that. As Olivia is nearing her 3rd birthday, she'll soon age out of the current program unless expansion is approved. This expansion would allow her and many children like her to stay in a consistent, trusted environment that they know and would benefit so many others across the district. As any parent here knows, finding high-quality daycare is incredibly difficult. There are long wait lists, limited availability, and not every option offers the level of care that Wise Bean does. And I just want to add about the wait lists that parents do sign up on multiple wait lists, and that's only because we know how low the acceptance rates are. And I know parents who have to drive way out of their neighborhood, out of their work area to the daycare that has an opening that their child can go to so that they can go to work. So we do this not out of luxury or necessity, but because that's the only way to get into a daycare. And even then, I know that parents have to trek. And Francine, who spoke earlier, she's not the only parent that I know that drives very far to get their children to daycare. The expansion would create more spaces for families who are desperately looking for a place they can truly trust. It would give more children access to a warm, structured, and loving environment during their most formative years. This is how we build great communities, by supporting places like Wise Being Daycare, where children are seen, supported, and cherished, and where parents can feel secure in the care that their children are receiving. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Cindy Liu. Next speaker is James Packer, in person. Hello, Mr. Packer.
Yes, sir. I'm James Packer, and my address is 2441 Burton Place, the neighbour directly to the north of the property. I'd just like to say, firstly, that nobody doubts for 1 second that Nazrin and Hummers run a wonderful daycare. They're professional people. Nobody would question that, or the need for a daycare. My concern, or our concern, and I think the concern of most of the neighbourhood, is the appropriateness of where the daycare is and the problems that can create. Now, whatever it says in the original plan and whatever parents say, parents do on a regular basis drive around into Burton Place to drop off or pick up their children. And they do this because, and I don't blame them really, because Berkeley Road is a dangerous road. It's a very fast road. There's a lot of traffic. There's cars parked both sides. It's a dangerous place to be able to have to get your children in and out of the car. Also, when parents come with 2 children, one child that's come into the daycare and one child that's not, they can't leave their other child in the car because they can't see the car from the daycare. So inevitably, they do bring their cars round into the neighbourhood, park either if they can in the neighbourhood or in the cul-de-sac where there's no parking on a regular basis. And actually, I was told by one parent not too long ago, while she was blocking my drive to go and pick her children up, that I would have to be patient. So it does happen, and regularly. That's my concern with that. It is very dangerous. My other concern is that obviously they're going to increase their number of staff and the staff parking. And again, what it says on the plans about the number of parking spaces, there's not 2 parking spaces in the garage because part of the garage is given over to workshop. And at best, there's 1 car can park on the driveway. So my assumption is, following the survey work that has been done, that either now as part of this application or sometime in the future, they intend to convert the front yard into hard standing for staff parking. Now that I think would be wrong. 1, it would contravene existing bylaw. 2, it really would not be in keeping with the neighbourhood. And that is directly below my front window and my view down to the close. Now, I don't know that that's going to happen. I assume that's going to happen. And I think that's part of the plan. That's my concerns. But nothing against the daycare, and certainly nothing against the people. We're close friends. We've been neighbours for about 4 years, and we're also close friends. And I did speak to Hummers before today to say that, I wanted to tell him face to face that I didn't want to, give him any shocks and surprises. So there really is no question with that, or how amazing the daycare is. Through the day, yes, we do hear some noise, but that really isn't a problem. And I didn't want people to think that was part of my complaint. It isn't. It's really the logistics. And I believe at some point there will be an accident or something, because when these cars come around, there's a lot of children there close as well who play outside their properties. There are no sidewalks, and these cars weave up the road and do park in the cul-de-sac. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your presentation. I think at this time, as we've been going an hour straight pretty much, that we'll move on to some questions that council have submitted to staff. And is staff ready to respond to some of those questions?
Yes, Your Worship. Staff have received several questions from members of council regarding the management of pickup and drop-off, specifically around how the staggered approach of drop-off and pickup will be managed, as well as when is the last drop-off time in the morning and the first pickup time in the afternoon. In response, as a generalization, staff would expect that drop-off and pickup would coincide with peak work hours. And so between the hours of 7:30 to 9:30 a.m., we would expect that that would be the peak drop-off time. And the peak pickup time would coincide with after-school pickups and end of work day. So we would expect that time range to be between 3:30 in the afternoon to 5:30 p.m. at the time of the daycare's closing. However, I would also like to call on the applicant to speak to the specifics of their operations, and if they're able to provide more details on how this is communicated with their families, as well as confirm when is the last drop-off time in the morning and pick up in the afternoon.
Mr. Gonzalez, did you want to take that question? Yes, please.
Well, regarding the drop-offs and pickups, it happens throughout the entire day. It's a daycare, it's not a school. There's no scheduled time to come in, there's no scheduled time to leave. In regards to the peak hours would probably be correct as what the staff member mentioned, right? From 7:30 to 9 o'clock, and then from 3:30 to 5:30 in the evening would be the majority of the time. But there will be drop-offs and pickups happening during the entire time of the day, right? In regards to whether they're going to be using Burton Place, that one is being addressed to each parent, that each parent has to do their drop-offs and pickups on Berkeley Road, right? So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Are you prepared to move on to other questions?
Yes, a member of council has requested information as to whether or not the operator has considered child valet as a means of addressing challenging parking issues. I will again call on the applicant to respond.
That hasn't been addressed yet. It's not in their programming. The programming is for people to bring their child to school and to pick them up afterwards.
Can I just clarify that question? That was my question. So I just mean from the bottom of the driveway into the school, given the challenge of the cul-de-sac, is there an ability for one of the staff members to meet the children outside for those parents that are driving into the cul-de-sac? So the issue of parking, removing two children from a car, walking one in with another, and then having to leave with another back to their car is eliminated?
So again, from the end of the driveway, you mean?
So when you're driving into Burton,
Yeah.
because there's challenging parking issues on Burton.
Yeah, on the cul-de-sac itself, there's no parking whatsoever. So if they park, it's going to be further down the road.
Yeah. So what I mean is you would just pull into the front of the driveway and somebody would meet the child out at the car and bring them into the school.
Yeah.
Anyway, something to consider. I'm just wondering if you've thought of that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to take this one. So hi, my name is Rod, by the way. Nice to meet everybody. So as it has been mentioned, there would be no drop-offs in the cul-de-sac, so there would be no cars coming to the cul-de-sac for the driveway access. So how the staff can help in this regard, and I believe as of right now, they do sometimes, if the request has been mentioned, that we can meet them on Berkeley when the drop-off is happening. I know this for a fact that this has happened before because one of the parents once before was in a rush and they didn't have the time to park and come inside and drop off the child. So we did meet them outside and they brought the child for them inside. So yes, that's absolutely something that we could do. Absolutely not on the driveway because we have no intention of having them in Burton Place, but on Berkeley, absolutely yes.
Okay, we've still got a few more questions if you just proceed.
Thank you, Your Worship. A further follow-up question to the applicant with regards to the management of staggered drop-off and pickup. Staff would be seeking further clarification as to how the applicant avoids situations where there are 5 or more parents dropping off or picking up at the same time.
For Berkeley Street, I think it can handle 5 vehicles easily. It can even handle a dozen vehicles on that road. I mean, it's a pretty long road. There's parking on both sides, although we encourage people to park on the side of where the lane is. But like the location of the school in terms of the parking requirements is pretty ideal if you think about it. Right? Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Some of this information.
Oh, excuse me. We can't have you speaking up from the audience. You will have an opportunity to speak after others have. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you want to just finish off?
Yeah, like I was saying, like when we look at Berkeley Street, there's parking on both sides. It doesn't really get filled with cars. It seems like people who park there are, they park for short periods of times and then they leave. So there is no actual, I don't see any issues actually in terms of the parking requirements for drop-offs and pickups for this particular location.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to move on with are there some more questions that you're able to address? And then we'll go back to our virtual.
Yes, through your worship, there was an additional question from member of council regarding the opening and closure of childcare in the Seymour area. It was understood that a member of the public raised that there was a childcare facility nearby that was closing down in the end of the month. And so I would like to call on staff, Erica Branson, to respond.
Thank you. I'm not aware of the childcare that would be closing down. So we would normally get the notification once sort of the business license was closed. So unaware of that one, but I do know that one of the childcares just further up on Berkeley, Jasmine Childcare, has been looking at the potential of growing capacity as well, but isn't at a point in the project where we would be coming before council.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we'll go back to some of the other speakers that I have on my list. And the next one up is virtual, Jessica Dennis.
Oh, hi. So my name is Jessica Dennis, Jessica Dennis, and I live on Dollarton Highway in North Vancouver. So I just want to say thank you for letting me speak here today. I'm here to speak in full support of Wise Beans and the proposed license amendment. Our son Finn has been at Wise Beans since he was 9 months old. He is now 2, a little bit over 2, and it is hard to put into words what this daycare has meant to our family. Nazreen and Netta are more than just caregivers. We've seen our son thrive under their care and learning, growing, and being truly loved. I know that it is completely rare because I also have a 5-year-old, and she has spent time at different locations and different daycares, and we've never had the experience that my son gets to have at Wise Beans. As a high school teacher at Lionsgate Christian Academy, which is a school that's down the street from Wise Beans, and a small business owner working with children ages 10 to 18 in North Vancouver, I deeply understand the importance of early childhood education and education in general. So a nurturing and consistent space like Wise Beans, I know, is incredibly hard to find. There have been very few daycares in the city that offer a preschool for kids for full-time working parents. And the choice to be a full-time working parent was mine and mine alone. I did not have to choose to do that, but I had a passion to be a teacher and help support this community. And my choice to do so has now been impacted with possibly not having a space for my son to be able to go after he ages out at this daycare. Sorry. There are very few daycares in the city that offer preschool and care for children and kids for full-time working parents. And the ones that do have, they have year-long wait lists. And I will say, not even year-long, I've experienced somebody telling me I've also paid hundreds of dollars to get onto wait lists at private schools. And I've also been told at many different schools in North Vancouver, looking for school for both of my children, that the wait lists are sometimes 2 years, 3 years. And I've also been told that the wait list is just completely closed and they're not accepting any more spaces. So I've never seen or experienced the luxury to pick and choose a daycare. That's never been my experience. Maybe it's other people's, but I've just never seen that in North Vancouver or in Vancouver in general. Moving from Toronto to Kitsilano to Point Grey to North Vancouver, I've never once experienced being able to just get into the daycare that I want for my children. So extending the age limit to 5 would give families like ours the peace of mind and consistency that allows us to show up as better parents, workers, and members of this community. Regarding parking, all of us parents were told, and after being told to not park anywhere in Berkeley, the parents, we understand that, and we do not park in the cul-de-sac. We know that it can potentially be something that could harm a child if the child is running on the street in the cul-de-sac, which is an experience for anybody who lives in a cul-de-sac. I grew up living in a cul-de-sac, so I know that, regardless if it's a daycare or whatever traffic can happen, there's kids running around. So we understand that, and we do not park in the cul-de-sac, and have never done that after being asked not to do so. And I also park on Berkeley with no issue. I drop my son off in the mornings, and it's usually around the same time, working parent hours, around 8 o'clock. And I've never seen any issue with having to park. There's never been any traffic. I live on Dollarton Highway, and I know what it's like to live on a very busy road. That is not what Berkeley is. It is not a massive highway. So I understand the way that you park on that street and how to make it a safe space. I think all of us parents understand how to drop our children off. And it's also a 2-lane road. So the opportunity to give our son a chance to be at Wise Beans until he goes to kindergarten would mean everything to our family. And just the experience of him being able to be with people that he truly runs to when he gets to school would mean everything to our family. So thank you for your time and your consideration. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jessica Dennis. The next speaker I have is Isabel McCusker. Hello.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. You'll have to bear with me. I'm a little bit nervous. I only became aware of this meeting 2 days ago because I'm not within 50 meters of the house. My name is Isabel McCusker, Isabel, last name McCusker, MCCUSKER, and I live at 2461 Burton Place, which is in the northwest corner of the street. I think it's important to address some of the comments about Berkeley. I'm concerned that it's being characterized as not a busy street. Those bottom 2 blocks of Berkeley are actually very intensely busy, and there is a lot of vehicle congestion in that area with you see work trucks, panel vans, RVs. We get parked on that street, as well as cars parked along that lower 2 blocks. And the way it is engineered, the sight lines are poor, and it is a dangerous place for walking around and crossing. I've lived in the area since 2004, so I feel I'm very familiar with how busy Berkeley is and with the speed that people take that first 2 blocks after they turn off Mount Seymour Parkway onto Berkeley Road. I think it's not realistic to say that everyone will be doing their drop-offs on Berkeley. We are living the drop-offs on our cul-de-sac. It is a narrow, constricted roadway. There is very limited parking. It's a U-shaped cul-de-sac with 2 blind corners in it. I live across from one of the blind corners and I witness every day people speeding around that corner to where many children play. I'm a parent of 3. My kids have grown now. My youngest is 16, but 13 years ago when we moved onto that street, it was already a problem with people taking that corner too fast. And now since the daycare has opened, I have observed numerous parents on a regular basis taking that corner very quickly. And when they come out, they also come very quickly. And I've had 2 very near misses as I have to cross that blind corner to get into my house. I know to stop, but people coming around that corner quickly, they tend to be in the middle of the road because of the congestion there, and they take it too quickly. There are a lot of pedestrians on our street. I think that has been overlooked. It is actually a walking route for many community people. They use that street to access the trail system, to access the west side of Blue Ridge. So all of the streets west of Berkeley Road, Lennox, Swinburne, Bernie Place, all the kids that live on those streets tend to take our cul-de-sac to get to Windsor Secondary because they don't want to take Carnation because it's a busy road, even though there's a crosswalk there. I see so many kids walking to and from school because I'm fortunate enough to work from home 2 days a week. And my front window looks out onto my street. We also have seniors and people walking their dogs in the area. There's a lot of pedestrian activity and we have children playing on the road. So I know that it is human nature to take the safest route to your daycare. I am a working parent. I've lived daycare drop-offs. I know what it's like to be in a hurry in the morning. And realistically, I just think it's going to be very difficult to enforce the Berkeley drop-off. And we're going to have increased cars in our cul-de-sac taking that blind corner too quickly because people are in a rush to get the drop-off done and get themselves to work. I question if it will be possible for the daycare to escort kids out from the cars that drop off at Berkeley. Like there's no sight line from that house. Will they have the staffing ratios? How is that actually possible that they would be able to go out and help people escort their kids in from the car if they have another child in the car seat? So I just don't know that that is a realistic probability. Just want to look if there's anything else. Oh, I do want to make the point that the photos of Berkeley in that depiction were not, those photos did not give an accurate idea of how busy that block is in terms of parking congestion. And also I would like to make the point that the drop-off times that are being mentioned coincide directly with times when people are leaving from work and when kids are walking to school and when they're coming home. So all of the action on our street will be happening at the same time. So, and there is no sidewalk on that street. So, okay, that's my time. Thank you.
Very well for someone who was so nervous. Thank you, Isabel McCusker. Our next speaker is Mauricio Acosta.
Yes, hello, good evening, Mayor, Council, how are you? Mauricio Acosta, as spelled in there, M-A-U-R-I-C-I-O-A-C-O-S-T-A. My address is 2494 Bendel Road. That is the corner between Bendel and Berkeley when you enter the U-shaped cul-de-sac. So first of all, I want to say I have no specific concern with the daycare itself. I don't dispute the need. I've been a parent. I know how difficult it is. So that is, to me, out of the question, the need and the short supply. That's not what I'm questioning here. Gotta say, I'm glad that the owner representative confirmed there is no parking in the cul-de-sac. They just confirmed that. Yeah, okay, sorry, too close to the mic. I'm glad that they confirmed that, and also that they confirmed that people come in a rush sometimes, so they need to go and pick up the kids or drop off the kids. So all this is for me to say that the report of the open house is incomplete, is inaccurate. The pictures of the cul-de-sac are incomplete. They don't show the neighborhood there. They don't show the lack of parking space there. That is incomplete. But my main concern is traffic and safety. I know Berkeley is a very congested road. Like it was already said, the last couple blocks there before getting to the parkway are always busy with vans, commercial trucks, visibility is blocked. I have witnessed 3 accidents in the last 2-3 years. Serious accidents, cars being flipped over, cars running into houses, cars crashing into parked cars. Point being, it's a very congested street. I will not like to be in the rush time during the morning or the evening, picking up or dropping off my kid in that street, having to go around to come through the walkway. So I'm not sure how they are going to manage that, but I believe people will continue to come through Bendale, do all the 2 blind corners turn to get to the cul-de-sac. That will continue to happen. The staggered drop-off doesn't work, in my opinion, when you get into the school age, because you need to drop kids before going to work, before, I don't know, 7:30, 8 in the morning, before people go to work. Then they go to school and they come back in the afternoon and people will pick them up around 5:30, 6 p.m. It doesn't work the staggered. Again, my main concern is people will continue to come through Bendale, getting there in an already congested corner with block visibility and speeding up. That is a problem for me. I personally have been almost run over twice while working on my front yard in that corner, in the street. Just working on my front yard, almost run over twice by people coming to the street at speeds that are, I don't understand what people are doing there. Berkeley is a street where people come down fast, really fast, 80K plus kilometers per hour. That needs to be addressed somehow as well. As I was saying, lots of commercial trucks parking there, vans, RVs. I have placed complaints before with council, with the city, with the district, excuse me, of RVs being parked there for long extended times. So all that to say that traffic safety is the concern. In support of the daycare, have no concern with that or the need, but the traffic needs to be addressed somehow. If it can be forced that the entrances to Berkeley, regulations put in place, lower the speed limit, put the speed bumps and all this, fantastic. Drop off, pick up the kids through that side. But coming through the neighborhood is risky. It's a safety concern. There will be accidents for people in the street or for the kids itself. That's my major concern. Sorry, too fast. I tend to speak fast and loud. Still have more time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mauricio Acosta. Next up is Ed Bailey.
Hi, thanks. I'm used to it. They spelled my name wrong. It's Ed Bailey, Baillie. So there's 2 L's and 2 I's in the middle there. It gets confusing when you're typing it out sometimes, I know. Again, I'd voice the same concerns. My address there is 2449 Burton Place. I'm about 3 doors down. The actual cul-de-sac turnaround point has 6 driveways and the walkway that is in question that they're going to access if they're coming from Berkeley. My major concern is safety. We've got basically 8 spaces today. I have no issue whatsoever if they want to raise the age to the 5 years of age. I'm more concerned with adding another 12 bodies. That's a 250% increase in kids, which means a 250% increase in parents, which means 2.5 times the risk of people ignoring the rules. I would like to see an accident report from ICBC in regards to Berkeley. I would like to see the district's numbers because I know you guys track road usage. There are 2,200 people who live in Blue Ridge. They all access to get out to Mount Seymour, down Berkeley or through Emerson. Mostly through Berkeley because there's no set speed limit. The other things that I have is concerned in regards to this is the photos really didn't provide an accurate perspective. It's easy enough to walk the street with an iPhone and take a video. I'm surprised there wasn't a video presentation of what the neighborhood looks like. I've lived there for, I think we're going on to our 8th year now that I've lived there. I have young kids. My front yard gets torn up every summer. I have no problem with kids. They play in my front yard because I've got neighbors on one side with kids, neighbors down the street. My yard becomes a community yard. I have no problem with the family and their daycare as it is now. The reason I didn't attend the first meeting, I travel for work a lot. I got the notification about tonight's meeting. I think we got it in the mail on Friday. I didn't actually look at it till Saturday morning, so I have had very little time to prepare. One of the things that was glaringly obvious, the support documents that were provided in the report were dated 2020. All you had to do is Google and you can find a newer report from 2023 from Metro Vancouver, and it indicates by 2028, the need in the district will go down by 1,600 kids. So the need's not growing, the need's going down. Yes, you've added population with these new buildings that are going up on Mount Seymour, but the population's aging out. The properties are too expensive. You're not gonna find young families buying detached homes that are $3 million homes. It just isn't gonna happen. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Bailey. Up next is Gabrielle Fong. Okay, he's virtual. Give us a moment. All right, we seem to be having a little trouble with him, so we'll move on to the next person on the list. And that is Graham Toady, who is in chambers. Welcome.
Thank you, council members. My name is Graham Thody, Grahamthody, and I've resided at 2465 Burton Place for 25 years. Going last, I would be reiterating many of the comments that were made, but I will say a few of them just in support. Bendale Burton is a closed off street, and it has two right-hand turns, both of which are blocked from view. I have had the need to come to a stop before turning into my driveway because of cars coming out of the area where this daycare is located. You've heard other people speak to the fact that yes, there has been the use of the cul-de-sac in spite of the efforts of the owners to encourage them not to utilize the cul-de-sac. It still gets used, and for very good reason. Berkeley is a terribly unsafe road. Anybody who describes it as not a busy road has never driven it, has never tried to cross it with their vehicle. And as I was listening to people, I could only envisage that the cars coming down at high speed heading south where these people drop off their children, if they were to use that particular location, are facing cars traveling at an extremely high speed. And cars who pass cars turning left, they pass them on the right. So when I am trying to turn into Berkeley, I have to not only look at the cars that are stopped, but the ones that'll come right through this supposed drop-off area, heading down Berkeley at high speed because they don't want to stop their car for people turning left. I would like to comment on something else that has been said about the notification. I only got notification through a neighbor recently because I am just outside 50 meters. Yet I'm one of 22 properties and a condominium, all of which will be affected along Bendale and Burton by increased traffic flow. And I'd like to note that the road, Bendale and Burton, is only 20 feet wide. Cars can park on either side in front of their homes, and that leaves you exactly 11 feet between cars parked. I measured it today to get that number. Only one car can pass. Most times when I leave, I have to stop, let another car come through, and then take that space. This is not a road that can take on another possible 12 vehicles on a daily basis. That's 12 going in, 12 going out in the morning, 12 coming in at night, 12 going out in the morning. That is a possibility. I would say that encouraging is not enough. Encouraging people to park on Berkeley is not enough. It has to be enforced. You'd have to create a loading zone. You would have to, in some way, police vehicles that are coming into Bendale and Burton. Another gentleman mentioned the speed of these vehicles. They do travel quite quickly. Most people are in a hurry going to or trying to get to a pickup by the deadline. These things affect our neighborhood. The tendency to use the cul-de-sac is it's absolute. You have a great deal of difficulty getting to Berkeley in a southbound direction if you're coming from other than the north. You have to go around various streets. You would have to come up Berkeley, make a left across Berkeley, U-turn or use somebody's driveway in order to get to your southbound position. The tendency is, no, I'm coming up Berkeley, I'm just going to turn into Bendale and I'm going to use that cul-de-sac, but I'll be quick. I'll be very quick. I won't bother anybody, but it does. It bothers children playing on the street. Thank you. It bothers seniors who are walking their dogs in behind. I will just say one last thing. I believe council should consider a traffic study in this area before granting any further licensing to this establishment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tutty. Do we have Gabriel Fong on the line? Joining us virtually. Mr. Fong, are you there? Okay, Mr. Fong, we're not hearing you, although I think we know that you're dialed in. I want to remind you to email your submission before the end of this meeting. You can also try, is it press 9 by phone, or what is the instructions for virtual? But is he on the phone right now?
I can't tell if his audio is connected by phone or not.
Oh, I see. Okay. So if you're trying to join us by phone, Mr. Fong, please press 9 on your keypad. And or 6 on your telephone keypad to unmute. In the meantime, we'll move on, and I think we'll pause for some council questions.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are. Is that
Okay.
Mr. Fong?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I'm so glad you figured it out. You have 5 minutes. Please go ahead.
I believe a lot of concern. My name is Gabriel Fong, GABRIEL FONG. I live at 2468 Burton Place. A lot of concern that's been talked about by my neighbors. But I believe trying to enforce the drop off not coming from Burton is very difficult in the long term when there's more parents trying to drop off the kids at the same time. Right now there's 8, that's fine. There's no problem in Berkeley. But when there's 12 more parents, that will become a concern. And when there's rainy day, people will say, okay, I'm going to park either way up by Carnation or by Brandale, or just drive into the Burton Place. Well, it's just a couple minutes, real quick. But that's exactly what Graham, the other speaker just now, saying about the blind corners. And the traffic concern is the main concern. And I believe some traffic study may be needed to find out exactly what it is. That's all I want to say.
Okay, thank you very much, Gabriel Fong. So at this time, I'd like to take a short break, stretch your legs, take a bio break, and we'll come back in 3 minutes. Thank you. So we'll move on to some council questions, and then we'll go to the speakers who did not register.
Thank you, Your Worship. There have been several questions from members of council. 2 are related to the operations of the childcare facility, and so I will call on the applicant to respond. The specific questions are related to what is the percent of parents who drive versus walk or take active transportation to the location? And secondly, are there any future plans or consideration of putting more parking within the front yard?
So you're asking how many people walk to school?
Yes, what is the percentage of families who walk their
Well,
children to
there
the
are 3
childcare?
right now out of the 8 that walk to school. And then what was whether they're gonna add
Walk to
parking in the front?
school, or I guess it's, what is the percentage of families who, let's say, drive, walk to school, or take the bus?
Why don't you just come up and?
Absolutely, you got it.
That makes sense. All right, so as accurately as possible, we'll answer this. 3 families use alternative ways of getting to the daycare, and the rest, which would be 5 families, most likely drive. And would you mind giving me the
Yes,
second?
the further follow-up question was, are there any future plans or considerations of adding more parking in the front yard?
That has never been something that we've considered or planned on doing so. From our understanding, and I believe you can confirm this or not as the engineer of the project, we have enough space by law to have 2 parkings in the driveway and 2 parkings in the garage. The garage is a normal two carport garage. And the driveway, I have personally parked with my father-in-law on the driveway at the same time. So I do not understand how it would not be satisfied and enough space to satisfy for 2 cars.
Thank you.
Through your worship, we have additional questions from members of council. The first is regarding the nearby development of Seymour Estates and the number of units that will be developed on that project. Through your worship, there are, on completion of that project, which is a 2-phased project, would be 341 units consisting of strata condos, townhouses, and rental apartments. And then finally, through your worship, there is one additional question regarding access through the Berkeley entrance coming from the south, and seeking further clarification on how people access this route. And I will call on staff, Erica, to respond.
Okay, thank you. I guess we've heard from 6 of the 8 families that are currently registered at Wise Beans, 3 that are walking and 5 that are driving. Hard to say what the other families, how they will choose to get there. And of course, the families will shift and change over time. There very likely will also be sibling groups, as it sounds from the families that we've heard. So potentially less than 20 vehicles, which I think worst case scenario is 20 vehicles that are coming into the cul-de-sac and using the parking or the driveway as the drop off and pickup is sort of that worst case scenario. But otherwise, I would think that, you know, families are going to pick a path that safely allows them to be parking on Berkeley, curbside, getting out sort of southbound so that they can go around, take the child out. If you have another child, I know I did this, I always had 2 others in tag along off on 29th, where I would be like, okay, you still have to come out of the car with me as well to drop off your little brother. So, I mean, parents do that, you know, and you're gonna take that safest route. So you're gonna park southbound on Berkeley, bring a child, both childs, to the center, drop off your infant toddler or preschooler, and then go about the day. So I think that there are, I mean, Berkeley is one option. Emerson Way, we did hear from one parent who said they were coming in from Blue Ridge. One also that was traveling up Emerson and was going across Carnation. But tough to say what each parent will choose, but hopefully they will be choosing the safest means to be accessing the site.
Thank you. Ms. T, are there any more questions?
Your worship, we have no further questions at this time.
Thank you. So that's, we have finished with the list of registered speakers.
Okay,
Thank you to you both. And we'll move on to the folks who have signed up in advance, who have not signed up in advance. We will now see if there is anyone observing the meeting who wishes to speak. For those who have not registered, who are present in council chamber, please raise your hand. I see 2 people, 3 people. Okay, and for those participating in Zoom, please use the raise hand function if you are participating on a computer, or if you are participating by phone, please press 9 on your keypad. This will raise your hand. When you have been called upon, press 6 on your telephone keypad to unmute. Can we have our first speaker who didn't register in advance come up to the desk, please? And you have 5 minutes to speak. Don't forget to tell us your name and approximately where you live.
My name is Paola Pleco, Paola Plecko. I live on 1056 Berkeley Road, exactly crossing the street from the childcare. I have nothing against the childcare. Seems like it's a great place. I'm a mom of 3, and I think it's great. I understand the parents searching the waiting list. I totally get it, and I'm with them. My biggest concern is the parking on Berkeley Road. As another people say, Berkeley Road is a very busy road, whether it's at morning, for lunchtime, for dinner time. The best time is at night, obviously, it's relaxed. I've been seeing people doing U-turns, parking where it's not allowed, like in, for example, between my neighbor and I, it's not even a parking spot, it's not for a car. And I've been seeing a parent, I even talked to a parent to say, I'm sorry, this is not a parking spot. And she was very polite, no argued, nothing, but it's not once or twice. And then in the front, so when I'm going to drive my kids to the school, I have the cars in the front, I have the cars on my side, I have the traffic coming quite fast, coming down, coming up. So it takes a little bit of time, especially rush hour, like 8:30, 9 o'clock, it's busy. So I don't know if there's any other way to do it, like somebody was proposing, I don't know, a speed limit, better signage, a pass, a crosswalk, because there is not a crosswalk in Bendel, exactly. So that might help, but like I say, nothing against, it's great to have another childcare, I believe. I have a childcare like 3 houses to the north of me. And yeah, that's my only concern is that Berkeley is busy when I'm exiting, and I've been seeing, like I say, U-turns, parking where they are not allowed to park in the front on my side. So, and that is quite frustrating sometimes. But other than that, it's okay with me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. I have, yes, you go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. My name is Oscar Barrera. I live on Burton Place. I am also a parent of 2 small children, one of them still going to daycare. Appreciate you guys very much. Clearly, you run a great facility that people love. And I want to make it clear that The reason why I'm here, and I know a lot of the neighbors are here too, are of concern to the safety of the children. I am a parent and I have the same issues. I don't want to come speaking of subjective things. I want to speak facts. And perhaps this could be something that the district could start implementing in future applications. It is very simple to contact ICBC and get a report of accidents. People are saying Berkeley's fast. Some people are saying it's not. I know personally because I was there to witness them. 3 cars were totaled in the last 4 years, immediately in front of the daycare. I live next door, I know, immediately in front. This is not subjective, this is a matter of fact. Also, I am sure that the district must have a huge record of complaints from people in Blue Ridge about speed from Seymour Heights and every other school or daycare facility in the area. If you, for some reason, do not have a record of complaints, please feel free to join the Facebook group. Every single day, you have parents complaining about people flying. And I'm using the word flying not as an exaggeration. If you put a speed bump there, the cars will fly. They are coming down twice the speed limit. So the concern for safety is very real. We already have multiple accidents. And I'm just speaking of Berkeley, not even speaking of the cul-de-sac. We do have 2 blind corners. I personally have come very close to hitting my neighbor's dogs that would happen to be loose, even though I know to drive slow. So again, I'm a parent. I understand the need of daycare. I support my neighbors who are lovely, but I am concerned of the safety of the children, and that cannot be ignored. It is there in record, and it is in fact. Lastly, I would love to suggest that some roundabouts be installed on Berkeley. I believe that this will help U-turns to come back down. This will slow down the cars and just make it for a much safer neighborhood. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. No, okay, sorry. So we have another first-time speaker on Zoom, and it is Jeff Morningstar. Are you there, Jeff?
Hi, yes.
Hi. Please spell your name and give us your approximate address.
Sure, it's Jeff, Jeff, Morningstar, Morningstar. My son Liam, he is our 3rd child, and we have been through some other daycares, and by far Nazarene has been by far the best for educating our child. We feel definitely, you know, if he can be extended and stay until he's close to kindergarten, that he will be above the kindergarten level, like grade 1, grade 2 level. She is actually absolutely unbelievable. As far as everyone in the cul-de-sac thinking about parking, no one goes into the cul-de-sac. Also, if I was to buy one of those homes, I'm in construction myself. The noise bylaw is from 7:30 in the morning until 8 p.m. at night. I could have 10 guys jackhammering from 7:30 in the morning until 8 p.m. at night. That is zero comparison to some kids playing in the yard. I just want to say that to the other people in the neighborhood, and you know what? If you're 3 meters short of 50 meters from the house, well, let's go by the bylaws and let's go by the rules. Every day I take my son there and drop him off. There's absolutely no the congestion is nothing. Like there's thousands of feet of space to park your car and drop your child off. And everyone who's dropping their child off is not driving 100 kilometers an hour. We're all driving at a reasonable speed and pulling over and letting our kids out and getting them out in a safe way. I just feel that this is so important for us and all of our young families to have such a great place for our children to go that we trust, where we can drop them off and feel 100% safe and go to work and not worry. Because Nazarene is obviously the most educated educator of all of the daycares. This is why we strongly feel that we need this. So if we could please allow her to extend the time for our child for another 2 years, it would mean the world to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Morningstar. Is there anyone else in the room who would like to speak a first time? All right, is there anyone online that is wanting to speak that we know of? All right, then we'll move on to second time speakers. Is there anyone in the room that wanting to speak a second time? Yes, please. Go ahead. Hi, again.
Okay, first of all, sorry to interrupt. I have the 3 kids at home, so anyways, but it's inappropriate in this situation. My apologies. I want to address something that nobody's really talking about here, outside of the safety issues that have been explicitly discussed. We have a significant problem here with the address. Council is deciding about 2349 Burton Place. Is that the address of Wise Beans Daycare? If so, we need to assume that this address can handle safely, according to legislation and bylaws, this facility. Can 2349 Burton Place handle it? Is this the address, or is the address on Berkeley? If I see something wrong and I call 911, what address am I giving? Am I giving Berkeley as the entry point? Am I giving Burton Place as the entry point? If there's a child that needs to be picked up by an emergency contact who isn't aware of how and where to pick up their child, where do they go? Do they go to Burton Place? Is that road accessible? Is it garbage day? Can they get through? Or do they go to Berkeley? Berkeley is not the address of this location. And talking about Berkeley as the entrance of this location is problematic. Accessing this location is through a public pedestrian footpath. It's not private, it's a side door entrance for a facility designed to keep children safe. Miss Atba from Community Planning called me today. When I asked her if 2349 is the main entrance and the children will be dropped off there on the driveway, which by the way is too small. I will get into that in a sec. How do they go in to the doors? There's 2 ways. You know what her response to me was? To the front door of the house. I said, the front door of the house is a private entrance. You cannot expect 20 children to enter a daycare through the front door of the house through a private entrance. I don't even know if that's legal. I didn't even get into that because I've already lost enough sleep. So what then we're asking children to do is to park on a driveway that is tandem, 1 car in front of the other, blocking the other 2 parking spots, which are behind garage doors. They would have to exit their vehicle, walk onto a public road, the cul-de-sac, onto a public pathway to access a backdoor entrance into the facility. I don't see how this is safe and how we can put a stamp as the district on this. How can we assume liability when something goes wrong and nobody knows how to access this space? This is a very real problem. And if we are saying 2349 Burton Place is the access, forget Berkeley, then every single bylaw standard needs to be met. So far, every single thing that we brought up, the community planners have put a Band-Aid on or created a variance for. The parking space doesn't fit what bylaw says. It actually even doesn't match British Columbia legislation. It doesn't match the numbers. Asking questions like, can the daycare escort kids in and out of the car? What you're asking for is that other children remain inside unattended and ratios, legal ratios get disrupted. For every 4 infants, there needs to be an attendant. It's been made explicitly clear in their report that they plan on operating with minimum numbers. It is irresponsible to ask a daycare to lose and unequivocally put kids in danger to address safety. None of this is safe. None of this is safe. None of this is real, which is why we're asking for another planning process. There is a lot of holes and a lot of kids who will be hurt. We have to start fresh. We need to know what we're working with. What is the address? What is the address? Can it accommodate it?
Thank you.
What are we saying yes to exactly?
Thank you, Ms. Kiddo.
Thank you.
I believe that we had at one point Grigony Loganar on the line virtually as a first-time speaker. Are you there, Mr. Loganar? He apparently has removed his hand up. So we want to remind you, if you can hear us, that the you can oh, sounds like you're there, Mr.
Yes,
Loganar.
I can hear you very well. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. Just a very quick note. Just wanted to add to the parking topic in a way that if you use Google Maps, as most people do for navigation around the city, if you put it if you put in the address of the daycare, it will be taking you through the cul-de-sac, not through the Berkeley Road. I'm not sure if it's something that can be addressed with kind of Google and the way it kind of routes you, but definitely something to be mindful of in a way that, like, if people use navigation, they will be driving through the Burton Place, not through Berkeley. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there, you're wanting a second time? Yes, okay, come up.
Voice down this time. No, I just wanted to reiterate the request to please have a complete traffic analysis before making a decision on this. Analysis that includes Berkeley and Bendel, the corner, and the amount of people that comes into the road. That's repetitive, but I wanted to offer as well, being on the corner, I have security cameras on my home, pointing to my door, pointing to my backyard. One of those happens to catch all the road as the entrance. I want to offer some videos from the rush time, and I can offer those later on the amount of cars that come in and the speed that they go in, right in front of my door. So going back to your point, Oscar, on facts, I have camera, I have videos of the cars, 8 o'clock in the morning, boom, right in front of the home. That continues into the cul-de-sac, around and down to the daycare. I don't know if they are your clients or not, but that is happening. And again, my concern is with traffic, safety. I honestly believe, and I hope I'm wrong, there's gonna be a serious accident, another serious accident, but even more serious, probably a fatality in that corner of Bendel and Berkeley. Like Oscar said, we witnessed 3 of those. is serious. I asked the district to please have a traffic study, take some measures there, approve the daycare, but have some measures, have a speed bump, have a roundabout, do something about it. Because it's not only this, it's the situation of the neighborhood. What was said before about the amount of people that lives in Blue Ridge coming down is absolutely true. And that happens weekdays, weekends, all the time, boom, coming down, and again going up. Something needs to be done there, not necessarily with the daycare, but with that situation there. Thank you again for the repeated opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to remind second speakers not to repeat what's previously been said, and including by others. And I believe we have second time speaker Francine Johnson joining us virtually again. Francine, are you there? Hello.
Hello. Hi. Hi again. Thank you for letting me speak again. It's not so much, I'm trying to iterate anything that's being said. I do agree about safety concern. I understand the community's safety concern. I've just asked that if there's such a concern, that this has nothing to do with the daycare, right? The approval of the daycare. Like, I understand, yes, maybe there should be a four-way stop at Bendale and Berkeley there. Maybe there should be an actual light stop, like a four-way stop or another stop, anything that can be put between Carnation and Bendale to slow the traffic down. I agree with the residents. I get that. Our concern is everyone's issues is the safety, the traffic. The thing that has been brought up so far is the traffic. It has nothing to do with the children being there. It has nothing to do with the daycare being approved or them not disliking. I understand. I understand about the safety of the children. We are, as parents, we're not going to put our children in any harm's way. There have been a lot of accidents that have happened. I understand that in a 4-year time, in a 3-year time, I get that. This isn't an everyday occurrence. So yes, while you guys are asking for an ICBC report, I'm not disputing that. I'm simply saying that this isn't like many streets that are in Vancouver, okay? These are residential areas. I understand residents maybe from the northern part of Berkeley are going down really fast. I'm not disputing that fact either. I'm simply stating that this is maybe a city planning thing that needs to be addressed. This has about putting a 4-way stop or a stoplight Carnation and Berkeley that to help slow down the, not saying not put the speed bumps. I agree with the speed bumps. I'm just saying that I understand what the residents are saying about the safety concern, about the speed and the traffic. However, I'm not saying that that this shouldn't be done. Like, these things can be put in place while approving the daycare, because the need for this, for the daycare to be approved is much faster right now. We need this to be done. Our children are aging out and we're running out of time. So if we can process this in a timely manner and have the city look at this and say, okay, we're going to put in a 4-way stop and a street light here to slow the traffic down, which will also benefit the elementary school that's down Carnation. This is a win-win for everybody. And I don't see how the red would not approve this. I think it would be really beneficial for the community and for the young families. And to say young families aren't able to afford $3 million Blue area. What if a developer comes in and buys 3 or 4 houses? That's currently what's happening here in Vancouver. They're buying up multiple properties side by side and building multiple multi-family houses. And that's what keeps happening here in the Lower Mainland. They're building multi-family houses and demolishing all these single homes because it is a desirable area. I used to live in Carrisdale, one of the greatest neighborhoods, and they're building tons of multi-family homes day in and day out. There's nothing but construction every single day. The families are coming. There's a demand for this. There's going to be a demand for daycares. We need this now. This is something I hope council can take into consideration. I'm not disputing the residents' concern about traffic. I'm concerned about the time frame that this is going to take for it to get done while our children are aging out. We are running out of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Johnson. Are there any other second-time speakers in the room or online? Mr. Bailey. actually, while you're getting set up there, I'd just like to let anyone in the audience know that if they're here for the 7 o'clock business license meeting, we will begin that as soon as we're clear here and or after 7:30. So don't go away.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not taking any issue with the people who are currently taking advantage of the daycare. I don't have an issue if the daycare were to extend the age range that they can take, which should accommodate most of the people who are already taking advantage of the daycare. My concern, again, I stated before, and I don't think it was heard by some of the people listening, you're talking about increasing the number by 250%. You're adding another 12 seats. That is going to more than double the traffic in the neighborhood on an already congested area. Yes, 4 accidents or 3 accidents in the last 4 years. I live in that neighborhood. I don't want to see a kid killed on that street. I can understand the concern of a parent. I need that daycare space. Are you willing to risk your child because you need that daycare space? I have 2 kids. There's no way I'd risk my child because I need a daycare space. I'd find another way. That's all I got. Like, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Mr. Bailey.
I can't see that need outweighing the life of a child. And it's my neighborhood, and I don't want to have blood on that street. It may be over dramatic, but all it's going to take is one mistake. And I think that's probably what the whole neighborhood's concern is, because we know how busy that street is.
Thank you very much. Well, Council, I think we're moving on to more questions. If Ms. T is ready to.
Yes, through your worship, we have one additional question from a member of council regarding whether staff can comment on any planned road safety improvements along Berkeley. And staff will have to refer that query to transportation engineering, and we'll get back to council as soon as possible.
Thank you for that. Are there any other council questions at this time? No? Then I would ask for a motion. Oh, I'm sorry, Councillor Beck. Are you moving the recommendation? All right, thank you. And so that concludes our public meeting for this segment. And so I call this meeting adjourned. We'll take a, pardon me? No. Yes. It's a call the question. Thank you. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. They can, why don't you say it?
As this is not a public hearing, the rules are a little bit different, so members of the public may continue to email staff should they wish to have further questions answered.
Okay, thanks for that clarification. So we'll adjourn for 3 minutes and then move on to the next public meeting.